This video is going to show you solo GM for Hunter mains. The GM will be inside Terminus as of reset. It'll be an important week for GMs because Rake Angle will be available to be farmed. So for those still chasing Rake Angle rolls, next week's going to be a good week for you because inside Terminus is rather short. Okay, so the reason why I've picked what I've picked is you'll see the stats on screen. So Night Stalker is still the most popular subclass in the game overall. This is for PvE. 43% of you approximate rock Night Stalker in PvE, like anywhere in PvE. This is not particular to Nightfalls. In actual fact, if I just look at Nightfalls only, the stats only go higher for Night Stalker. It's even more popular in GMs. There's reasons for that, but I figured I would do, since so many of you are rocking Night Stalker, he's a Night Stalker build, a pure bred Void Night Stalker build. The surges that was active when I did this was Arc Surge, Void Surge, Champions of Barrier and Unstop, Void Threat is on, Scorched Earth, Chaff and all the rest of it. So he's the build, the Night Stalker build. Very good as a lockdown build. Whenever you come up to a GM that supports lockdown builds, then you want to consider them. This is a good version of that because Inside Terminus requires a lot of lockdown, right? Well, this is good. So we're using Night Stalker Shadow Shot, not Mobius Quiver. Although Mobius Quiver is good, but we're using Shadow Shot. I've got Gambler's Dodge on, Snare Bomb, Vortex Grenade. Aspects are Trapper's Ambush for Invis via our melee. And On the Prowl. Whenever we go invis, this will proc. Now, On the Prowl is a very complicated aspect, but the short information regarding it is that it's a pretty half-decent aspect. It maybe needs a slight buff in PvE, but overall it's alright. It's pretty good. Fragments was Echo of Leeching for plus 10 resilience. That's why I've got it on. Echo of Obscurity, Invis for finisher kills. Persistence buffs the amount of Devour and Invis time we're going to get. Echo of Domineering, this is a plus 10 discipline and it works pretty good with our aspects. And we get a plus 10 free discipline. You get a Void Breach, which therefore plays into getting Devour more frequently with Echo of Starvation. Pairing that with the exotic boots, Orpheus Rigs. We're back with this exotic. Orpheus Rigs is back. It's generating a ton of ability energy. It's really good. It does benefits to both Deadfall and Mobius, but I think overall with the Orpheus Rig build, you're better off doing Deadfall super rather than Mobius. It really is up to you, but I think it's fun. It's more fun to get more tethers. Yeah, but Mobius Quiver is not to be sniffed at either. So yeah, Orpheus Rig is generating a lot of ability energy right now. You'll see in the run that is the case. In terms of weapons, so we're using Supremacy for Barrier Champs, Graviton Lance to synergize with our Void build, and Graviton Lance is really good in the game right now. Top 5 exotic primaries in the game. Mistral Lift, we're using a Void linear. Any adaptive burst linear will do you in this. Try and run a Void one though, because it's enhanced by the artifact mods. Artifact mods, Enhanced Volatile Marksman. We've got Dialectic because it does still proc when I am using bolt charges because I am. I've got Elemental Siphon on. This is actually alright because we are using Graviton in combination with Tether. Dreadful Finisher for more special ammo. Right, that's critical, needs to go on. Malign Harvest is very good with Graviton. This is going to give you a lot of survivability on Night Stalker. And Flashover is still beneficial because we're using the Blast mod. When we stun a champ, we're going to get Flashover to proc. Therefore, we're going to get, other things to proc. And finally, Particle Deconstruction. The reason being is because it does speed up the damage at the final boss. And Kargan is quite tanky. So I think you should put Particle on in this case for sure. And the mods are on screen. There'll be a dim link anyways. It's a general melee kickstart build with Procs Ward, Double Bomber, Scavengers to match what you've got on. I think the right resistance for this is an Arc and a Solar because there's a lot of Solar nades. The Cabal enemies do Arc. Concussive Dampener effects reduces area of effect damage. You know, Void Siphon's really good to get lots of melee kickstarts with Trapper's Ambush, and then every time you proc Trapper's Ambush, you will proc on the prowl. So every time you go invis, you will proc this aspect, so it's pretty damn good. It's alright. It's probably, if I rate this fragment, an 8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10 fragment. It's pretty good. But yeah, that's the information on this. So as we start the run, take note that you want to sparrow or skimmer as quickly as you can. This will skip the initial barrier champs from spawning and you will still get platinum rank. It just flat out stops the barrier champs spawning. Again, if you don't achieve it, it's fine. Just kill the champs with your weapons. But it's pretty easy to do that, the skip, that is. Just need to be assertive with your skimmer. So with Insight, we're going to skip as well again for this section. So we're going to go invis here with a Trapper's Ambush, and then we'll do a Gambler's Dodge at these enemies to reset our Trapper's Ambush so that we can do a second one to make sure that we skip this initial section. You may as well do it. It's in your benefit to do it. We are going to kill the champ, but not right away. First things first, I want to take care of the goblins. Or these, because one of them can be a bane sometimes, so just be careful of these headless goblins. We're going to take care of them with Graviton quickly, and now I can deal with the champ. Now, here's some intellect manipulation. I forgot to mention, by the way, I had a bottle popped. I had a tonic popped for increased intellect. It's a void tonic. I had it popped. I forgot to mention it. It was popped. Just look at your tonics. You'll find a tonic that gives increased intellect. And I did have that on. But what I'm doing here is I'm manipulating my super bar with the champ look. So I'm not melting him down straight away because I want to showcase in the run tethers in the best possible light. So we're doing a bit of manipulation here. We lose barrier rounds with Graviton. Obviously you will get barrier rounds with void primaries, won't you? Because of volatile marksman. Look, we get our super by a little bit of manipulation with the champ. And now I can have fun with using my tether to entirely cap the first cap point. Kargan will spawn. Be careful he does not one-shot you. He can send you into a wall. Let him despawn, then step on plate. Look, he's stomping twice. Right, we'll get a tether slightly to the left, and then what we're going to do is just basically control this plate. This is what this is. It's a lockdown build. Deadfall tether. Look at super ability energy. Look at the amount of energy we're getting. That's in combination with two things. I'll explain it once this tether's done. Unstartable spawn. We're going to do some champ damage. Notice that we only stunned one of the champs, but it stuns the second one. Because when you do tether damage, it's shared damage amongst all tethered targets. So if you stun one unstop, it stuns the other unstop alongside them. Yeah? So, to explain the super regen, there's three things at play. Number one, Orpheus rigs give an increased intellect on tethered targets. You are also getting damage intellect. So what I mean by that is if you do damage to targets, you get increased intellect. If that target is a champ, an orange bar or upwards, the intellect's more. If it's a champ, it's even more intellect. If you do single target damage. But you're not just doing single target damage, because when they're tethered, you are also doing damage to the other targets. So it's a combination of all that. Not to mention, exotic primaries give increased intellect as well. So Graviton's stacking with Orpheus rigs. I hope it makes sense. Look at this. This is a tactical tether. I'm waiting on purpose. Boom, there we go. We cleared out all the ads. Look at the intellect. This is tether number 2. So far we're on tether number 2. We're approaching tether number 3. This is the perfect place to fight from. Generally, I would not fight from here, but the reason why... Look at what we're doing here. We're clearing the entire room. We've cleared the entire room with one super. There's no more champs left. We've done this an additional skip by sniping the boss. That sends the boss away, and then it spawns in less champs if you do that. So pay attention to the run. All right, look, we proc on the prowl by going invis. You will know if the target is debuffed and targeted. If the target will be highlighted. So We was able to get double crit on this champ because we were able to go around him when we're in Viz and get more damage. Also, we get the finisher kill to get more special ammo for supremacy. You'll notice I'll finish a lot of targets in this. We're tethering again. This is tether number 3. That's tether number 3 going out. Tether's not as much on this one because, well, there's not as many targets, is there? But we can tether the champ. Look at super. We're above half now. And now we can do a little bit more manipulation. I'm not going to melt this champ down. I'm choosing to do primary damage. Look, 3/4. So even though that tether did not give us that much back, we still got 3/4. That's insane to get 3/4 like that. We dunk the relic. This is on next spawn. What I'm going to do is go in Viz and go to the back of the map. Why? Well, because we can get a good tether point. A good hunter main in PvE, especially a Night Stalker one, right, is based on how they can round up the adds. The better a tether hunter main can round up the adds, the better that they are in PvE. The more successful and experienced they are with the tether. You watch when you LFG with hunter mains who main Night Stalker, you will notice how good they are at rounding up adds. That is a skill set, and they built it over years. Ever since 2015, some of these people have built it up. Because that's when tether came out. The D1 laws still apply. D1 laws still apply to D2. Look at this tether. So we do the same thing. Barrier champ. We're melting the barrier champ. It's doing assistive damage to everything else. There's another barrier champ, I believe. Which that's what we're doing here. We're doing really good damage. Tether's still up. We've nearly got our super backs. Tether's still up. We get our super just in time. We're melting. Look at the damage we're doing to all these adds. Tether's really good in this. I was surprised on how good it was. I was surprised on actually how good it was going to perform, and it did. So look, again, same thing. Same as before. We have cleared out the entire room. Again, I'm going to get rid of this champ with a finisher. Again, didn't need to really, but I'm going to finish him, pick up the orb, and I'm going to spawn in the champ. To spawn in the additional champ, you take the orb to mid. Look, there you go to get the Cabal Ball, drop relic, go in Viz again, and yep, we're doing the same thing. We're going to tether at the back of the map because it's rounding up the adds very well. Not only that, it's easy to fight from here, but we're not really doing it because it's easy to fight from here. We're doing it more for the successful tethers. I'm waiting for the adds to aggro on that little cliff area, which they're going to do in a minute. That's what I'm waiting on. There we go. Boom. Get a tether in. And there's another barrier champ. Well, always focus the champ, not the adds. When you tether a cluster of adds and champs, focus the champ first, not the adds. Because the adds will die when you kill the champ because you're doing assistive damage to all tethered targets. Then you focus. Look, we've got our tether back again, look. So yeah, that is the place to stand for inside Terminus on a Night Stalker. It's the best place to stand on the map. I'm pretty certain of it. Is it the quickest? Maybe not. But it's definitely the best place to stand for consecutive tethers back to back. Okay, so we bring the relic over here. This is where I generally stand for this barrier here because it's good cover. We'll do a on the prowl invis. I don't think he's marked. That's fine though. We melt him down. We do a bait and switch rotation. The linear, we haven't used it much, have I? I do use it a lot at the farmer boss. Do use it a lot there. Gambler's Dodge doing very good things for us with trappers. I was getting my trappers ambush quite a lot because we're not using full invis. So when I say full invis, what I mean by that is by using trappers ambush and vanishing step, which that's the go-to. That's the go-to for more invis. However, now that we've got on the prowl, it changes things a little bit. And it means you can't run Vanishing Step and Trappers if you want to use on the prowl. So you've got to make a decision. Do you want Vanishing Step or do you want Trapper's Ambush? In my opinion, I want Trapper's Ambush. I prefer that dodge. I prefer that invis over Vanishing Step. Because it's longer invis. It's longer invis. Now, I know there's other ways and means. You could use Omnioculus, Graviton Forfeit, 6 Coyote. There's loads of different invis builds. But this is more of a lockdown version of it with Orpheus. Okay, I want people to realize that when should you use Orpheus and when should you use Graviton. In more difficult GMs, you want to use Graviton Forfeit. But in GMs where ads really do cluster up well and there's potential for back-to-back tethers, well then Orpheus is better, isn't it? It is. It definitely is. But like maybe, you know, where ads are spread out a bit more, let's say, I don't know, Battleground Mars at the final boss. Okay, so you want Graviton on for that. But Battleground Mars isn't up, so it doesn't matter. Makes 0 odds. Because the next week's going to be Insight, so it's all about Insight. We'll invis past these ads with Trappers plus Gamblers. Try and take out some of these ads, they may drop your ammo. The boss kills them, but if you tag them before the boss kills them, they can drop ammo. Because you've tagged them. You also get points for them. Not that points matter now in the game, but you can. Look, I even got a damn sigil stone off him. Okay, so capping the zone. The first zone, I didn't need to tether because the ads took a while to come out. But if the ads do get on top of you, don't be frightened to tether, because you're more than likely going to get it back rather quickly. But yeah, we're going to take the initial 2 Cabal enemies at the front. Then there'll be dogs to our right. We've capped the zone. By the time, there's no point on tethering now, look. We capped the zone, no problem. Some dogs there, but we're going to tether immediately. So this is where tether's going to come into its own. And it's going to stun lock the boss a little bit in combination with Kinetic Tremor Supremacy. And we're going to do a bait and switch rotation. The boss does move a bit, so just bear in mind, you're not going to get every single crit on this boss. Because he's doing a lot of stuff. There's a lot of moving parts of this boss. So if I miss crit, don't call me out too much on it. Yeah, alright, I missed a couple of crits. No problem. But the boss does move about a lot. And there's nades to avoid. There's fires to avoid and all that sort of stuff. So it's not just a case of, you know, you're going to hit every crit. When the boss is suppressed, you will hit more though. And stun locked. Okay, tether, look at that. We're 90%. I've only just used it. I've only just used it less than a minute ago. And we're getting it back. And it wasn't tethered on that many targets, if I'm being honest. Let's see what the next tether does. We've got a Pummel Bane in middle. I'm not bothered about him, though, too much. This is where you want a DPS from, by the way. This top rock. This top rock is the best place to stand. Overall, this is a good place to stand. Right, I want to not tether just yet. I want to get them ads in, spawned. There's ads spawned based on the boss's health. Right, here we go. Boom, tether goes in. Ads are coming into the tether. Let's do a little bit of supremacy damage. Let's try and stun lock the ads. And we're doing damage to the ads. Halfway to a super. Not bad. That's only 5-6 Cabal enemies. I'm getting half our super. Tether's still up. Oh, yep, it's good. It's still locking those targets. And it runs out. Just runs out now. You also get increased grenade energy when you do your tether as well with Orpheus. Okay, boss's health. We're now starting to manage that. I do not want to tether this boss again. Because I want my tether for cap point. Capping the points. You want to tether for capping points. Definitely. Especially on a Night Stalker. Because, you know, the build revolves around you having that tether up for critical moments. And if you don't have that tether up, you may die on the plate. That's an issue only if you don't have your super. But you need to plan then. Don't blame the build. That's your fault if you didn't have a tether for the cap point. That's because you didn't plan accordingly. Good hunter mains will plan accordingly for when they do their tethers. Super placement is absolute critical on builds like this. But, hey, it's the most popular hunter subclass in the game. Showed you the stats. I've showed you the stats. So, hunter mains seem to be adamant that they don't want to play Titan and they don't want to play Warlock. Alright then, master the class you're on then. If you don't want to play other classes and you just only want to play Hunter, okay, master what you're doing then. Don't just play Graviton, don't just play Omnioculus. Experiment with Orpheus Rig, it's good again. See, they nerfed Orpheus Rig, then they buffed it, then they nerfed it, then it went bad for a long time, and then it's gotten good again. I don't exactly know when it got good again, but it is good in the game right now. Look at that. We got some ammo. We're max on special. Heavy ammo's pretty good as well. That's what I was just going for. Some ammo before I cap plates. Prepare for plate. The hardest plate to cap is right side plate. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Don't tether until you're ready. That's my advice. Tether at the stairs as well. Okay, so gladiator spawn right side portal. We'll get a tether. Here we go at the stairs. Gladiator to my right. That's unfortunate that he pushes to the right. But look at Super Energy. That's a buff combination with Graviton Lance, Intellect Regeneration, and Tether. Look at that. And the Volatile Detonations. That is really good Intellect Regen. Tether's still up. It's still up, and we're still capping. Well, we've capped our plate at this point, but you need to understand enemy spawns. Every time you stand on a plate, you will get dogs and gladiators. They are infinite if you keep standing on your plate. So be careful when standing on plates. Only stand on a plate when you're ready. I.e. super ready, ammo, weapons reloaded, ability regen. You've got your nade. You've got your smokes. You've got your trapper's ambush. Only be when you're prepared. I've got a drain gladiator, and it kind of messed up this portion of the run for 2 minutes. Because the drain, yeah, look, we get weak there. That's bad, right? It's good movement that I didn't die there, but it is kind of bad what happened. I'm overcommitting to damage with this drain bank, so I'm wanting to melt them down. But in the pursuit of damage, overcommitment will happen and you will die. I think most people would have died there, so if you get a drain gladiator, be more careful. I'm even going to use a tether, but the gladiator has de-aggroed the drain one. So this tether was a little bit of a waste. It's the worst tether of the run, this. But the tether has been... I've forced it to do the tether for the drain bane. And the drain has walked into mid. So he's clever. That's fine though. We're now going to melt with the sniper. Just get rid of this drain bane. He's ruined our run a little bit. Halfway to a super. That's unfortunate because I'm going to need it for the next cap plate. Okay, so don't step on that plate like I say, even though it's tempting, until you're prepped. I think I do try and step on the plate and cap it. Let's see what happens. I can't remember actually how this goes. Standing on right hand side will manipulate the adds over to right. This will allow you to cap plate left and mid. It de-aggroes the adds. So let's see how this plays out exactly because I can't remember. I go invis. That de-aggroes the adds entirely. They forgot my position. Then we'll get a good gambler's dodge to then have trappers for cap and plate. Look, we start to cap the plate. Don't kill the adds until you need to. Like when they start jumping over, alright, start killing them. Let's see exactly what happens. Remember, I've stood on plate, I've committed. The gladiators and dogs will spawn now because I've done this. I get pushed and I get weak. And yeah, see, this is exactly why you should be prepped with a damn tether. And I'm not tethered up, so I have to go invis. We have been snowballed by that gladiator drain bane. It's snowballed from one problem to the next because I didn't have a tether for when I needed it. But I've already committed to my plate, so I'm going to just tether anyways. Get gladiators in, but that's fine. I should be alright and tanky enough because I've got my tether up. Even though there's going to be a lot of dogs and a lot of stuff spawning. Look at the amount of overshields I'm getting. But yeah, I've committed. My tether's still up. I'm going to use a bit of linear because I do need to get rid of these adds while my tether's about to run out. It's close. But yeah, we do a good job. In the end, I do a decent job. There's more gladiators spawning because they keep spawning when your plate's up. But they won't when you're not on a plate. That's why you should clean up whenever you're doing the next plate, clean up your last phase. Yeah? Always clean up your last phase of gladiators and dogs. Always do that. We have a slowed gladiator, which was actually more aggressive than I realised. But yeah, I need to get rid of that slow gladiator because he's annoying me a little bit. We need to cap left-hand side plate, which is probably the easiest. So we've done it. A hardest plate cap, which is right-hand side. Right, mid, left. That's how you should probably do it. Or at least right plate first. Okay, so I'm prepped. I've got all my stuff. Apart from my Gambler's Dodge, I've got everything. I've got Tether. The room is clean. Don't clean out all these ads, remember, because you just get fresh ads. You want to have you want to have 4 to 5 Cabal enemies up. Then you cap your plate. So boom, here we go. I don't think I even Tether. Let's see. Because I've manipulated the room that well. I will use Tether if I need to, but it doesn't end up happening. But that's fine, because it's not a waste, because I Tether the boss. So yeah, look, we're capping the plate. We're just about done on this plate. Dogs are spawning in. Gladiators are spawning in. All the fresh ads. Yeah, look. See. That simple trick of cleaning up dogs and gladiators and leaving the 4 to 5 legendaries up works. Look at the super energy we've just got there. We super mid, boss spawns in. Look at that intellect regen. That's so good. If 12 months ago, if you had asked me about this, Orpheus rig was not doing this 12 months ago. I can guarantee it wasn't. It was not doing this. If you remember, Orpheus rig was capped at 50% regeneration. All the regenerating exotics, Skull of Amkara, Storm Dancer's Brace, although Storm Dancer's Brace different now. I'm on about in the past. Orpheus rigs, all the super regenerating exotics, Shards of Galanor, they all got adjusted to half intellect regeneration. After half regeneration, it would slow down. That's a little different now with the super regeneration exotics. Because look, I get to half energy, and it will still go up. Good super in middle as well. Bait and switch damage. Want to just keep spawning in the ads. Got plenty of ammo on the floor, which is good as well, because when we can spam our supremacy, which does good damage to the boss, and it does area effect damage to all the ads surrounding the boss. So it's multitasking, ad clear, and the boss, which is nice. Look at the intellect regeneration from Graviton, really good. We'll go invis. The only criticism, I think, on the prowl marks a random target. So if there's multiple enemies on the field, you might not get on the prowl to proc on the boss. So that is like, there's no control with on the prowl, and I don't know how they would change it so that you can focus a single target. The only way you can focus a single target is if there's one target alive, which is not ideal. So I don't know the fix for on the prowl. It's good, but I think it needs some minor buffs to make it really good. It's 8 out of 10 good. It's not 10 out of 10 good. But Orpheus rig, if I was to rate it, it's 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. But it is based on the activity that you're doing. If you're in a GM where all the ads are spread out, like Lightblade, if you're doing Lightblade, Lightblade's not up. But if you was, it wouldn't be that good in Lightblade Orpheus rigs. I would not be using it. I'd be using Graviton. Because all the ads are spread out. But in Inside Terminus, look at the ads. They group up. Another Tether goes in. So yeah, this build was really good. I highly recommend it for when Insight comes out, because I know a lot of you main Night Stalker. Alright, well then go and solo it and do it with this setup. It's really good this week with everything that I've used. That was a solo GM on this. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.